and welcome to a new virtual pet video. In this video I'll be discussing the differences between the version 20th and the original 1999 Digimon Digital Monster. So outside of the obvious roster and shells, there are a couple of differences to notice. So I have here an original 1999 Digimon and a version 20th with this more or less the same colour. You can sort of see the colours a little of the tiniest bit different, but besides that, with just one glance you can't actually tell the difference outside the background also being a little bit different, but again, nothing too much. So the reason for why I want to put this video up is I've actually noticed a couple of people selling the version 20ths as 1999 original virtual pets, which is fairly dishonest considering the version 20ths should go for about second hand, probably about 20 Australian dollars, first hand, as in like brand new, $30. Highest I've seen them in stores is like $40, so as high as $40 Australian, and the originals go for probably at least twice as much that, so it's a little bit dishonest. So first of all, if you just see a photo of this like this from the front, and it's usually quite hard to tell colours in photos, so probably if it's a colour that's identical, don't just go by the colour. So first of all, you'll notice, and this is something that Flirp from the Discord channel pointed out to me, the version 20th's teeth on the cage are different. So we have, you'll notice that they're a little bit closer together on the original. So I can tell it's the original because also from the back it's easy. So if I flip over, that's just me double checking that I've got my my differences right. So you can see that the teeth on this are closer together, and in addition you'll notice that this bit behind the frame, this little bit of red here, it's a little bit wider. So this part here is a little bit wider on the original. So we hold them up, you'll see that's just a little bit, like a couple of millimeters difference in terms of thickness. And you'll also notice that the cage is a little bit differently shaped. You can probably still fit it on, you can probably still swap them, but it's a little bit, tiny bit taller as well. So if you look at that, there's just a couple of millimeters difference in terms of the height of the cage. And again, the original has closer together teeth, and this bit's a bit thicker here. If you're able to look at the back, it's much more obvious. So the original has, if it has a sticker here, it would have a sticker there or just be blank. And also you'll notice 2 screws, and the door is rather thin in width. If you look at the version 20th, 1 screw, just one bit of blankness here with usually a serial number here. It'll also say 2017 here, and you'll notice the battery door is wider because it uses the non-LR44, so it uses the CR2032, I think they are. So that's, from the back, is probably the best way to determine what version you have, but from the front, as I said, it's very difficult to sort of determine. You just have to look at how close together those teeth are and how wide this bit is. Preferably the teeth, as it's a little bit more obvious to tell. As you can tell, there's about half the amount of space in the original than in the version 20th. So these ones don't have batteries in, so besides that, I can't really tell you. Also, the original will have a tab part there for the plastic tab, and the version 20th just has the tab sticking out of, I'm not sure if you can see it, this slot here in the battery door. So it's probably best if you are trying to buy an original and they're you think it might be a version 20th, to ask for as many photos as possible from this angle, from the back, and from the front. But if you only have one photo to go through, as I said, the teeth. Now, usually sellers will also post a picture of it working with the battery in. This is much easier to tell. So here I have my version 6, and this one often gets confused by people as a version 20th because an identical color exists for the English Wave 2 version 20ths. I've had a couple of comments saying, oh, you have a version 20th Wave 2. Like, no, I don't. I mean, I do, but it looks like this. So, yeah, this is my version 20th, and this is a version 6. So, we'll just look at that. So, you'll notice again, teeth are closer together in the original. This part here, underneath, but like next to the cage, is thicker, and tab is at the bottom of the original. Battery door is different size. Also doesn't it has you can probably not see it, but it says 1997 there, while this one says 2019. But also the battery door in general is a different size. So if you are given a photo of it with a battery in, it's even easier to be able to tell. So first of all, you'll be able to see that the icons go stat screen. So we'll compare it with the version 6. Stat screen's a different shape. Food is more or less the same. Also, I'm not sure if it's my imagination, but the icons seem smaller on the version 20th. Probably to allow for 5 on the top, not just 4. So then we go training, that's the same, and then battle, and that's the top row. However, on the top row of the version 20th, there's the championship, so that's the little cup to signify that, and toilet. And then down the bottom we have lights, injury, a book, and then we have, and we'll just highlight that again, we have the battle icon for connection. So you'll notice that the battle icon for connection's on the top of the original, but on the bottom for the version 20th. And meanwhile, we have toilet down the bottom, lights, injury, and then nothing, because that's the call icon there. So you'll also be able to tell by how many icons are in the top row, and that's probably why the screen's also a little bit wider too, as I mentioned, this part here being thicker on the original and thinner here, because it probably wants to allow for more time for the icons, or, you know, I don't know, but there's more icons on the version 20th. Besides that, there's not so much, so let's quickly review. Differences, battery door, tab, cage, the thickness of this part here, which is only a couple of millimeters, icons, roster. Obviously, if you see somebody saying this is a version 6 and it's got a Agumon or any of the eggs that are not the version 6 egg, then it's obviously not a version 6. A version 6 has Tentomon and Otamamon and basically the nature spirits from the Pendulum's, I almost said Pendulum Cycle, it is technically the Pendulum Cycle version 1, but the Pendulum 1 has the same roster. So yeah, that's another difference. And also LR44s, not CR2032s. And yeah, so that's more or less the differences. I hope I've educated. Also, as I said, the colour's different. This is a version 4 that won't be available as Wave 20th. This colour not available as a Wave 20th. This colour not available as the, I say Wave 20th, version 20th. This colour not available as the version 20th. And then we have this, similar to colours available in the version 20th Wave 2, but who is beeping at me? But yeah, this is a version 5. Also, it has the original keychain. The version 6, I believe, was had the keychain swapped by the seller I bought it from. Not complaining, I prefer these actually anyway. So, as I said again, you can tell that this is a version original because teeth close together, extra bit here, tab inside, the uses the LR44s, and the battery door is less wide. Sticker here, extra bit of information here that also says 1997 on it. So there's just a couple of ways you can tell if somebody is actually selling you an original version of Digimon, or if they're selling you a version 20th and either they're mislabeling it because they don't know, or they are actually trying to scam you. So don't be scammed. Those are the differences. So again, I can tell straight away now that this is an original because the teeth are close together. And yeah, so original, version 20th, original, version 20th, original, 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 original. There are only 2 version 20ths here, and it's, nope, this one. Further apart teeth for the version 20ths. So yes, thanks for watching. I hope that this was helpful. Don't get scammed. Don't accidentally spend $100 on a version 20th because they are not being sold for that. They're not currently worth $100 because you can buy them at EB Games, Big W, Amazon, what have you, for less than $40. Big W has them on sale at the moment for like $29 Australian. So do not spend more. Do not trust people on Gumtree who say that what they are selling you is an original if it's not. And obviously, of course, they also have different backgrounds. The version 20ths have the same background as the version 1 original, but the mountain is a slightly different size, I think. Seems the mountain is a little bit taller in the original. But anyway, so yes, I hope that was a useful video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!